Hi everyone, I'm going to be showing you a Roblox Studio tutorial on how to make access stores. Access stores are basically when a player, for example, if we create a part here and we scale it up just a little bit and make sure it's anchored and we play here, basically what this would be able to do is if I was the owner and I wanted the owner to door, what I could do is I could make it where I could touch it and I can go right through it. So that's what we're going to set up in this tutorial, but I'm going to show you how to make it a bit more advanced with instead of killing the player, we're going to do a different setup. So let's get started. So I'm going to get started by going into server script storage here. We're going to create a script, and I'm just going to call this the door handler. And in the door handler, I'm going to add local doors, and we're not going to set that value for just yet because I forgot to describe something else. Let's do local collection service equals game get service collection service. Now in collection service, we're going to get tagged here, and in the get tagged, we're going to get door. This will be explained in a second. So for underscore door in doors do, not do, so basically all this is doing is we're indexing all the values in doors, which is everything that has the tag door. And we're just giving that value called door. So now what we want to do inside our door here, we want to go to the tag editor. And you see this little button that says add tag. We're going to click on that. We're going to type door. And we're going to click this little checkbox beside it. Now in the store part, I'm going to add a new part, and in this little search bar right here, I'm going to put object value. And we're just going to leave this a normal value. Now I'm going to duplicate this door by doing Control D. Now I'm just going to scale, and I'm going to hold down Shift, and I'm just going to move this up a little bit, and I'm just going to move this down here and over here. Okay. So now we got this part which we're going to call reset C-frame. So now in our part, if you click on this little arrow right here, you'll see our value. So what you want to do is get your value here and click on the reset frame. So let's go back into our handle. So now let's call a few values. Let's call the local object, which is just the door on find first child, and then we're going to get the value. Now I'm going to put a semicolon here, and I think that's just a colon, my bad. And what we're going to do is we're going to put object value. So this just tells us that object is equal to an object value, which you can see right here in the class name. It says object value. So that just gives us the option to deal with the class that these variables are signals, sorry, these RBX signals that we get to mess with. So now here is we're going to find local reset part. I'm actually going to call this reset object just to keep the theme here. And this should be a part. We're going to set this equal to object.value. Well, I guess we're not. We're just going to do that right now. So in this, we want to do if object and reset object, then, so basically we're just determining if these two are true, then, now we're going to do else if object and not reset, then we just want to warn here, and we're just going to say no value assigned in object value. And now we're just going to have an else. We're going to say warn object was not found, which it might not be found due to the find first child. We could change this to a wait for child and set this with a timeout of 5. But now what we can do here is inside object. Now we want to call the door function. So I'm going to say local function touched, and then we're going to put hit, and that's going to create a function. Then under that function, we want to do door.touch connect touch. Now you might be thinking, okay, how does this work? So basically, all this is basically doing is if we had a normal touched event here, we did a connect function. Oops, sorry about that. Ooh, I'm bad today. So basically, all this is doing is turning this function into just calling this function. And you might be wondering, okay, so I can call hit for touch, so we can get the part that touched it. So why is this? Why do we not put this like this? Well, due to how Roblox Studio works, is when this connects, it already sends it over to this function. So now what we want to do is on local touch, is I'm just going to do a print, and then we're going to do hit dot parent dot name. So we're going to go to view tab here, and we're going to click on our little output, and we're going to hit play. Truthfully, I should have hit play here. Now, okay, so we failed to index with value. So it is recognizing this, but it did fail to index with value. So I'm going to go to our objects here. We're going to see what I did wrong. View, hold your reference. So let's make sure that we have a good value here. Let's click on this part. So, but we did not get an error. So we waited for value in part. So let me do, okay, so let me do a quick here. So door for find first child value, or let's see what that does. Let's make sure that we have the correct part selected here. You know what's going on? Since we duplicated it, it duplicated the tag. So that is the issue here. I'm sorry about that, guys. So now our door wait for child did work. It just wasn't indexing for the reset. So now, if we head over to our touch part here, we see our name in the output when we touch it. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to say local allowed players equals a table. And in this table, I'm just going to put my name, JKBeans0099. So what we're going to do here, so actually first we're going to do local player equals hit dot parent. Oh, I'm sorry, local character. But now what we're going to do is local player equals game dot players. I mean, it's better to do game on get service players on get player from character. So this is just getting the player from the character. So now we want to do an if statement. If player, then this is just making sure that it's a real player. And then instead of doing this like the AI suggested, we're actually going to do if table.find and allowed players. We're just passing in the table here. And if it finds player.name, then what we're going to do here is door.can. So we're going to do door dot. So in here, just so we can get some more properties, we're going to set it to equal to a base part. And don't worry about this. We'll fix that in a second. So can collide equals false. False. So actually, I'm going to do door.canCollide dash door.transparency. So now we're going to set this to false and 1. Then we want to do a task.wait, and we just want to wait however long you want to wait. I'm going to wait about 0. Maybe 1 second. But then we're going to do door.canCollide, comma, door.transparency equals true and 0. So basically all we're doing here is when door can collide and door.transparency, they equal, so this will only equal this, And door.transparency will only equal 1 or 0. So that's basically all that works. Now, else, so we don't want to do pivot. So if door.canCollide equals true, then, equals false, then local HRP, so we're not actually doing that. Actually, I'm not doing this lowercase, equals character on find first child humanoid root part. Then what we want to do here is humanoid root part dot cframe is equal to reset object dot cframe. So now let's remove this base part and let's make sure our script actually functions and we didn't do anything wrong. So I'm a part of the list, so it should allow me through this part, which it does. Nice. And it waits 1 second and goes back. So now let's change it. Let's just do David. I'm not David. So what we do here is when I touch this part, hopefully it puts me here. Which it doesn't, which is okay. Which means I messed up. So we gotta find out how I messed up. So first of all, in humanoid root part, here. So we're gonna find here. Oh, well, I really didn't mess up. I'm sorry about that, guys. So let me do a quick factor here. So if I set this to canCollide to false, and if I play here, I'm sorry about this, and now, there we go. Now it works. So this is how you make a basic door with, so if canCollide equals false, it resets a player so they can't just follow you through the door. This can be handy in many ways. Sorry about that. I had a little stutter. And it also runs off collection service. So I could have way more than one of these doors. So let me put this in here. And if I just make sure that parent equals here and value equals reset frame. So I could have 2 doors. Let me just name them different here. Let's do door 1 and door 2. And make sure that this is on the right thing. So let me have door 1 to be red, and we'll have door 2 to be green. Now, neither of these doors I am affiliated with, because if you look at our script, it still says David. So when I go over here to the green part, I get teleported to here. And when I go to the red part, I get teleported here. Thank you so much for watching my tutorial. If this helped you out, please smash that like button and hit the subscribe button while you're down there. This has been Sammy. Thank you.